What's up, you guys? We are back with another episode of Who Even Asked. As always, I'm Tay.
And I'm Jazz.
And we're going to do another episode of some Reddit stories, some Am I the Assholes, because that seemed to be kind of a hit last time we did it. And I thought that'd be a fun way to, I guess, start off the new year. Yeah, because y'all hear this first episode of 2025.
Yep. And I got some am I overreacting stories too. So thought
Okay,
I'd
perfect.
switch it up just a little bit.
All right. Do you want to start or do you
Mhm.
want me to start?
I can start. We can kind of go back and forth if you want.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. Okay, so my this one's kind of funny. Um this one says, "Am I overreacting? My boyfriend keeps farting on me." I just thought this was funny. Um, Says, I know the title sounds ridiculous, but my boyfriend keeps farting on me, and I'm thinking of breaking up with him because of it. I, female 26, have been dating my boyfriend for about a year now. He's lactose intolerant, but still eats dairy and lactose. So he's always gassy and having stomach issues. He has a gross habit of farting near and around my face any chance he gets, usually 4 to 7 times a day, and in bed every night without fail. He will fart under the sheets multiple times and then pull the sheet/duvet over my head and start laughing. I have told him how much I hate this and how it makes me feel quite ill because the smell is so strong.
Not
But
ill.
but he will not stop no matter how much I beg him to. I'm not sure if it's a maturity thing, but I'm getting really sick of bringing it up with him and being shut down because he says it's a joke. I don't find it funny and it makes me feel sick. And I'm getting very annoyed. What do I do? Is this like a normal joke people do? Please advise.
Okay. Um, and how old did it say he was?
26 and he's 28.
28. Okay. That's just like me and Jacob.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her. I can also relate to this, like not to that extreme, but definitely have gotten hearted on quite a bit in my relationship. But I do feel bad for her. It sounds like he's like taking it insanely too far also to be like pulling the sheets over head and like
Yeah.
farting in her face. Like that's another level of disrespect. And
Yeah.
one thing I also didn't like, sorry, not to cut you off, but
No.
that he says it's a joke. I hate when people do something disrespectful or that pisses you off and they're like, but it's just a joke. Well, it's not fucking funny. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, and two, it's like excessive. Like if she's overly communicated multiple times that she does not like you doing that and you continue to do it, that's just like you're pissing her off on purpose at that point.
Yeah, and you think it's funny. Like, I don't know what it would have to come down to for like that situation to like for him to get it, you know what I mean? That she was like pissed
Yeah.
off and like doesn't want that to keep continuing. Um, you might OP might have to just, like, break down and, like, either be extremely mean to him or start crying for him to get the point, I don't know.
Or like fart back.
Yeah.
Fire back. Unless
You know
she's
what's
not.
also crazy to me is, like, couples who are like, "We don't fart in front of each other."
Like, come on. Yes,
Like,
you do.
everybody farts, everybody does it.
Yeah. Yeah, or like they don't poop around each other or like I mean, they don't have to be in the bathroom with you, but I mean, come on, you're not gonna shield yourself from pooping your whole life. What happens when you move in with these
Yeah,
people? Like, ridiculous.
exactly. Like, that's no way to live, and if you say y'all don't, I don't believe you, and I think you're lying.
For sure. There's no way. All
But I
right.
feel like I don't really have any advice for OP on this one. Um Do you think that's worth breaking up over?
If it's like a serious ick, yes. Like,
Yeah,
you're not married. He's 28 years old. Like, I think men's brains fully develop at what, like 26 or something like that.
I think
Um,
so.
like he has the cognitive ability to read the room and make adjustments for you. Like I know he thinks it's funny. Like do it every once in a while. Don't do it every day. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Uh, um so yeah, I do think it's worth breaking up over if It's something you can't live with, and also that I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer, if you gotta fart, fart in front of your partner, do what you wanna do, but, like, if they're just disgusted by it, if somebody's overdoing it, I could see how that would be, like, really disgusting.
No, I agree, and just, like, the extent he's taking it to, like, if it's important to one person in the relationship, I think it should be important to the other person in the relationship as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, if she's that bothered by it, I think that's valid.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
completely agree with that too.
yeah.
Mhm.
Alright, let me start us off well, not start us off. Let me get to her next. Okay. Do you wanna pick from the titles, or do you want me to just surprise you?
Well, you could just surprise me. I like a good surprise.
Okay. I think I'm gonna start us off strong with this one. I thought this one was pretty funny.
Okay.
Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my sister that a pregnancy announcement doesn't count as a Christmas present? My 32 male family gets together every year for Christmas for a week or so at a popular vacation spot in our state. This has been a tradition since I was a kid, and every year we do a secret Santa exchange. Anyone over 18 is put into the pool, which helps cut down on expenses as you only need to purchase a present for one adult instead of all the siblings, parents, aunts, uncles, etc. In parentheses, kids and teens under 18 would get individual presents, but the youngest is my sister, who is 24 female, so it hasn't come up for a while. My sister, Heather, 24 female, is the one who had my name this year. She gave me a positive pregnancy test wrapped up to look like a DVD set of my favorite show. I unwrapped it and congratulated her, but was curious about what happened to the DVDs. I thought maybe she had Hold on. I thought maybe she had them set aside since she had the packaging for the box set. She got mad and told me that her present to me and the family was a pregnancy and that she didn't have the DVD. I told her that I was happy for her but felt a little cheated. The Secret Santa presents are supposed to be either handmade or between 50 and $100. So they're usually high quality presents. Also, Heather didn't tell any of us that she was trying to get pregnant. She isn't married and we don't love her boyfriend. So it was kind of mixed news anyway. I get that she was trying to be cute, but am I the asshole for expecting the DVD slash a real present? Her present from my aunt was $100 gift card to a spa she loves for reference. My parents think I should just be happy there will be a niece or nephew, but it still doesn't seem fair, and I just don't think a niece or nephew in 6 months counts as a secret Santa present. Thoughts?
I don't think that counts as a secret Santa present.
Fuck no, it doesn't.
No, like, you just peed on a stick. Not my fault you got pregnant. Go give me my gift.
Also, to that, do you think it's weird when people announce their pregnancies and they, like, give other people the stick?
The
Like,
stick, yeah.
what am I gonna do with this stick? I don't want your piss stick.
Yeah. I think, like, the dad, like, of course, like, the baby daddy, yeah, it's fine, but, like,
Yeah.
parents or, like, I've seen videos where, parents will like, surprise their kid, like, the kid's gonna know what the stick is, and the kid will, like, accidentally put it in their mouth, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so gross." Like, yeah, I don't think pregnancy sticks are a good reveal, but to each their own, you know?
Mhm.
I just don't
No,
wanna
I
touch
agree.
anybody's pee stick, that's for sure.
Like, I get it, like, the handle part isn't peed on, but it's still the thought of it is just no. No, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but also I don't that's such a like, a shitty gift, like, that's a cop out, I feel like, and, like, I know babies are expensive, okay, but this baby is not here yet. You still got a while before that baby comes, and, like, come on, like, even, like, something cheap, like a shirt or, shirts are $10 maybe, like, something is better than just your pee stick, okay.
No, I agree, but I think even if it was, like, a shirt that said you're gonna be an uncle, I still maybe I'm an asshole. I would still be a little offended
Yeah.
that you didn't like, not even a box of candy or something, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
a gift card, something, and, like, I get it that our OP is 32, so, like, maybe you shouldn't care as much, but if that's the only present you were getting for Christmas and you got nothing, I would feel cheated, and I'd feel some type of way about it.
I don't feel like you're ever too old to feel some type of way about gifts. I feel like
Yeah,
if anything, the older you get, the more you care about gifts, and not like not a monetary way, not monetary way, um, but, like, even, like, something like just effort, I think, is more of the problem.
yeah,
At least that would be from my perspective what it would be like, because she would've been happy with the DVDs, it seems
right.
clearly, like, you coulda just left those in there. Also,
Yeah, that's
DVDs
a
are
good point, like,
expensive.
what happened to the DVDs?
Yeah.
What did you
Uh,
do with them?
right? I haven't seen a DVD in years, man, on that topic.
I think we had a few, but, like, we
Yeah.
only pulled them out when, like, the Wi-Fi is not working and we have to run them through the PlayStation.
It's probably good to save them just in case, the grid goes out. Well,
Stop. Don't get me started today. Happy thoughts.
it
But
that's funny.
yeah, but I think, yeah, no, that's valid. I would have been pissed off too, and that's not a real gift. And you should know by 24 that that's not appropriate.
Yeah, like,
Hmm.
you're adults. You're all adults at that point.
Yeah.
Um, that's just yeah, I don't know, man, that's a shitty gift. And the parent like, I get how the grandparents would be like, "Okay, yeah, that's a good gift, because that's a gift of a grandchild," but as a sibling, yeah, you get a niece, right, or nephew, but, like,
Mhm.
come on, just something, man. So I feel
Yeah, I
like
think it would have been different if it was one of the grandparents, but yeah, no, I agree
and
with you.
didn't she say that she got the aunt, like, a gift card or something?
She didn't get the aunt the gift card, the aunt gave her the gift card, so she still got a nice gift even though she gave a
Oh,
shitty
okay,
thing.
okay. Gotcha, gotcha. That's crazy. Yeah. No, I'd be like, "I better be getting an extremely great birthday gift then, if you're not gonna give me a good Christmas gift."
Period. Do you think it would have changed the writer's perspective had, um, like, she been trying to get pregnant or she was, like, engaged or they were married? Do you think, like, if the situation was different, they would have felt differently? Do you think that, like, plays any part in this?
Like, if the person who handed it to her was trying to get were engaged or married?
Yeah, so, like, if the 24-year-old sister was, like, if it was a good situation, because they pointed out here that they don't really care for the boyfriend. Do you think that would have made, like, any type of difference? I don't think so for me
No,
personally, but I wonder if you thought so.
I don't think so.
Mm.
I think either way it would've been the same,
Yeah.
at least for me if I was in that situation, so
Maybe if the writer had it doesn't say if they do or not, but maybe if they had kids, I don't know. But I always try and, like, think since we don't have kids, if people with kids, like, think differently on some things than we do. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe. Yeah, that kids is just such a touchy, like, situation, when it comes to stuff like that, like, because 'cause don't get me wrong, like, if I would be so happy, like, if I had a niece or a nephew,
Right.
but at the same time, it's like, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Give me something physical, like I don't know. I would be like I said earlier, I brought up the shirt thing. I'm a simple gal. Just something simple. Doesn't have to be
Yeah.
super
Uh-huh.
expensive. Just something that shows a little more effort than a pea stick.
And a bee stick. That's true though, because you think of, like, people who are in relationships and it's like, "Oh, well, they didn't get me anything for my birthday," or "They didn't get me anything for the anniversary," but they could have at least, like, made me a card. It goes along those lines, like, at least to feel like you were thought of.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
extremely true. Yep.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts on that one?
I'm good.
Yeah. Since we're talking about gifts already, I'm gonna go ahead and I had one "Am I the asshole" of about gifts. So I'm gonna do that one since we're on that topic.
Let's
So
hear it.
this one is Am I the asshole for wanting a gift on Christmas? My significant other has never been a great gift giver, but used to try. For the last few years, however, though I always get him multiple thoughtful gifts like things he really likes or needs, he just doesn't bother. If I get anything at all for holidays from him, it's usually weeks to months late. This year specifically, I asked and begged even for a gift to open on Christmas Day. I even said to get something stupid from the dollar store, anything, and told him how it would hurt that he never thought enough anymore to take the time out to get me anything at all. He promised he would several times. Well, it's Christmas Eve, he works tomorrow, so I gave him his gift early. After opening it, he's told me mine will be here next week. I asked, "Will I have anything to open?" And I guess he says, "Yes, when it gets here," and I wrap it. I'm just absolutely hurt, and he's gone to bed after seeing how it crushed me, annoyed at my reaction. Am I the asshole here? I know that Christmas isn't about gifts. I'm just hurt to have been left feeling unthought of after specifically asking for weeks for anything at all.
No, you're not the asshole, and you should leave your partner because he sound well, okay, maybe I'm jumping, but he sounds like an ass.
No, I agree with you 100%. My first thought when I was reading that, I was like, "Leave him." He obviously doesn't give a fuck enough, like, to do anything, like, minimal effort. Exactly what I was talking about earlier. Minimal effort. She even says, "I don't care if it's from the dollar store." She just wants something, some form of effort.
Like, if you could have at least, like, printed out a photo of what you got her, put a little candy in the box with it, then you at least feel special, because it's not necessarily his fault that it got there late. In his case, I
Yeah.
do think it's his fault, and I do think he was just like, "Oh, shit, it's the day before, I probably have to order it now," you know? But it's like we were saying, the effort, the thought, and the fact that she has to beg for any type of thoughtfulness is really sad.
Yeah, and if she's been telling him for weeks, that she just wants something, and he does it. I can just it's like I picture this relationship in my head. Like, I could just see it like the type of person that guy probably is, and he just seems like an asshole.
Yeah. It's giving like husbands who don't fill their wives' stockings, like that same
Mhm.
energy.
Yeah. That same typical, like, situation that moms are always in pretty much, but except this time it doesn't seem like they have kids, it's just them.
Yeah, no mention of kids, but that's what it sounds like. But
Yeah.
and it kind of I mean, not necessarily, but it could be like her love language is like gift giving or like receiving gifts is like how she feels loved. So maybe I mean, valid, she doesn't feel loved by
Mhm.
him not getting her literally anything to open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's such an important part in, like, relationship is knowing people's love languages or, like I don't even think this really has to do a lot with love languages, just putting in the bare minimum effort. Like, I'd love to have insight on that relationship and see, like, how birthdays are for them,
Mhm.
and things along the lines of that to see how those days go because I feel like I have a feeling that it's probably the same way, and that's really sad.
Right.
But that's
And
just
that's why she's
me.
having to beg for it is because it just is never like a standard for him in their relationship.
Yep. And that's just me assuming, but that's exactly what it seems like, which is really sad.
I don't that's a pattern, obviously, if you're having to beg for what you need, like, maybe you shouldn't be in this.
Yeah. Yep. So we leave him. Like, leave him.
Leave 'em, sis.
There's the door.
Close
There's
the
the
door,
door.
bitch.
Yeah. That's too funny.
Alright, are we ready for our next one?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Switching up. I have another one about pregnancy here in a minute, so I'll give you all a break. Alright. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my mother access to my savings account even though she says it's for family emergencies? I, 24 female, have been working since I was 18 and have been diligently saving money. Over the years, I've built up a decent emergency fund and started putting money aside for a house. My parents have always known I'm good with money, but recently my mom, 48 female, has been pressuring me to give her access to my savings account. She says it's because the family has had a lot of unexpected expenses lately, like car repairs and medical bills for my younger brother, 15 male. While I understand money is tight, I've always helped when I could. I paid for groceries, contributed to household bills, and even helped cover my brother's school supplies. But my mom insists it's not enough. She wants direct access to my savings account, just in case something big happens. I told her I wasn't comfortable with that since I've worked hard for this money and it's meant for my future. I also mentioned that I'd be happy to help if a real emergency comes up, but I'd prefer to manage it on my terms. She got really upset, saying I don't trust her and that I'm being selfish. My dad has stayed out of it, but my older sister, 26 female, thinks I'm overreacting and should just let mom have access. She even said, "What's the point of saving if you're not going to help your family?" Now I'm feeling torn. On one hand, I want to help my family, but on the other, I don't think it's fair for me to hand over control of my hard-earned money. Am I the asshole refusing to give my mother access to my savings account?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
How old was she again?
She is 24.
Yeah, no. You worked hard for your money. Your money's your money. Um, that is your savings account. Your family is lucky if you decide to help them. You have nothing that you owe them in regards to that money.
I completely agree.
Um, I feel like a lot of time family dynamics get skewed a little bit and people have this like overbearing guilt when it comes to family. But you
Mhm.
do, and I'm gonna sound like an asshole, but like there's certain situation where this applies to. And I'm not talking about, like, any of my situations, but there's situations where people should rightfully cut off their families. Not this
Huh?
situation that we're talking about either, but I'm just saying, I think we have this, like, overbearing thing where we always think we have to be there for family no matter what, and sometimes you have to cut people off. And sometimes you don't have to be there for your family monetarily. You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily owe them anything. If you do decide to help, that's on you and, like, you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart, but it should never be because somebody's either pressuring you because they, you know, they raised you or they blah, blah, blah. It should be because, you're wanting to do it because you love them and not because somebody's guilting you into it, I guess essentially is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I have heard about, like, similar situations to this before where children are expected by their parents to help out with bills, and that has always just really rubbed me the wrong way. We did not ask to be here. And, like, I understand, like, I'm not trying to sound privileged or not empathetic when I say that, but it is your responsibility to figure it out if you have children. It is not your children's. They did not ask to be here. And I understand, like, families fall on hard times, but I don't get asking your kids for help. Like, that's really I will go if I was a parent and I was in this situation, I would go work 3, 4 jobs, whatever I had to do to figure it out. But I'm not going to put that responsibility on my child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. And two, like, I would love to know, like, all these stories, I always want to know more. Like, is the mom actively working? Is the mom like putting in effort? Like you said, is she working multiple jobs and doing other things? And she's really just having a hard time, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, but it sounds like the other daughter, I'm wondering if the other daughter also like helps her out or like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I did wonder that too, or I mean, you never know. Is the sister, like, contributing to the financial issues? Like, is she
yeah.
still, like do you know what I'm saying? Like, we do need more context. That would be really nice to have.
Yeah. I wish we could like deep dive into some of these stories.
I
Just
know.
don't
I
give a lot of
didn't,
stuff.
I just posted the stories to my note section. I didn't actually save them on the app, or else I would go back and see if there's, like, an update or any edits or anything, but, yeah, there was no edits on that one so far, but I just think that's crazy that people expect their children to provide for them. That's really weird.
Yeah. And like I said, I think there's a finite difference between expecting and wanting to help. Like if I
Ye
had the
right.
money, I would definitely help my family. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
it doesn't mean they're owed anything. I guess is the difference. And that's just crazy. I've seen so many dynamics like that of families where they get guilted in or they're like, "Oh, well, I took care of you your whole life and you should do this for me." Or you know what I mean? And it's just
Mhm. Or
it's
people who
crazy.
had children because they are just expecting them to take care of them, like, when they're older or when they need help, you know what I mean? But, like, that's their reason for doing so. Because you hear people say that to people who choose to be child-free, they're like, "Oh, but who's gonna take care of you when you get old? The fucking retirement home? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you
And
should not have children for those reasons."
yeah, that's absolutely true. That's yeah. I hear that a lot too. And I was gonna bring that point up too about people saying, "Oh, who's gonna take care of you when you're old?" But you took the thunder.
Sorry. Great minds.
Mhm. All right, let's see here. So let me see. I got a couple of these. There's a couple good ones too, so I'm having trouble. I guess we're gonna go over all of them anyways. Um, but let me do this one. So this one's, am I the asshole for not attending my fiance's family function? My fiance, 23 female, and I, 21 female. Oh wow. Have been together for a few years now. I didn't realize that was a. We battled long distance for a while and have recently moved in with one another. Sounds familiar. She she's attended maybe one family function with me the entire time that we have been together, and that was to her benefit. There was a concert in our town that she wanted to go to that fell on the week I was spending Thanksgiving with my family. I've always been open to her family and adore spending time with and having those connections with people that I didn't get with my own family when I was younger due to addiction for my brother. The past 2 years, I've gone home for Christmas and asked her to come. She's outright refused, but when family functions come up with her folks, she volunteers me to be present. I've told her how upset this makes me, that she won't attend functions with my family, but expects me to attend everything with her family. She got upset and told me that if we were going to be engaged, then being a part of family functions came with that. And to that, I shared the same sentiment. I worked a 13-hour shift today, which is average daily shift for me. She only works 3 hours a day doing billing for her dad's company. Upon getting home and just wanting to shower and relax for a bit, I was hit with, we have a family function you're going to attend. I put my foot down and said no. I want to shower and relax for a bit before having to do anything since I've been working all morning. She persisted, attempting to drag me out of the house to go to said function, and then got angry when I stood my ground and began to draw a shower. So, am I the asshole for not attending these functions anymore when she won't attend mine? Really feeling like one right now.
No, because it's not like she's doing that because she was refusing to do it for her. It's not like she's just never been open to going to the family function. And when you started reading this, we can cut this if you want, but I feel like you really can relate to this story.
Yeah, I think that's
Huh.
why I picked it. Cause but I will say at first, I did not realize it was 2 women. I thought it was a man and a woman, but after I was reading it, I was like, it stopped me in my tracks a minute. I was like, "Is this play about me? Is this play about?" Um, but yeah, that's, like, almost to a T, except I wasn't invited to their family functions, so, um, that was a whole story, um, but yeah, I was like, "Oh, I have to do this one because 'cause it'll be, like, so related to stuff that I've been through too," and I just thought that was so funny. But I will say being in a relationship where you feel like you don't get that, like, equalness, especially from somebody like me who's very family oriented, like, we're always around our family, like, we do everything with families, like, I don't have any friends, like, my friends are my family. Um, and, like, I spend most of my time with, like, y'all, so when it comes to situations like that, I really, like, feel for that person because I know
Mhm.
exactly what they're going through, and it seems like they're very open to being with the other person's family, but they're just not returning the sentiment unless it benefits them, and that sucks, and you should get out of that relationship before it won't get
Yeah,
better,
before
I don't
y'all
think.
do get married. Um, that's really sad to me. It's true when they say, like you're not just dating or engaged, whatever, to your person, like you're dating their family as well. I think that's
Mhm.
very true because I think for most people, family is like a big part of their lives. And I would feel very slighted if I wasn't like, or if I was, because she said that she was expected to go to family functions, but she refused. That would hurt me. I'd be like, what's wrong with my family? Like, why don't you want to spend time with my family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, I get there's certain situations where families or family environments can be really toxic. Like, let's say she went to their family's stuff and they were, like, talking down to her or, like, they were always fighting or there was something scary going on. Understandable. Rightfully, you don't wanna go. But if
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong and you're just not putting in that effort at all to even try and adapt, put on a face, we all have to put on faces sometimes. And I think there's
Mm.
some people out there that are just so unwilling to change in the slightest bit for other people, even the people that they love. Uh,
Mhm.
and that, like, that sounds like that type of person that just doesn't want to even try to do anything for their partner despite their partner doing something from them for them. So,
Well, and even if, like, the partner here, like, doesn't like her family, like, you do things for people you love even if you don't enjoy them sometimes. Like, you don't it doesn't have to always be about one person or the other, but, I mean, you take on interests of your partner that maybe you don't necessarily enjoy, but I think the same thing could be applied to this. Like, maybe even if you don't love the family, like, you can at least be like, "Well, I'm not gonna go to every Sunday night dinner with you, but I'll at least do, like, holidays," or you know what I mean? Like, you need to meet in the middle somewhere and find some common ground, because that's not fair.
yeah, it's not fair at all. But yeah, so that person is definitely not the asshole.
Mm-mm. And leave them.
Leave them. Leave
Leave
them.
them.
We're adding that little ticker in there. Am I the asshole and should I leave them? Leave them.
Leave them.
Bye.
Okay, on to the next.
To the next, to the next.
Okay, okay, let's do this one. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my daughter's wedding after finding out her fiance used to bully my son? I, 50 male, have two kids, my daughter, 25 female, who is getting married next year, and my son, 23 male, who came out as gay in high school. My son had a really rough time in high school. He was bullied relentlessly and it took a toll on his mental health. He's doing so much better now, but those years left scars. Last month, my daughter introduced us to her fiance, 27 male. I recognized him immediately as one of the kids who made my son's life hell. When I quietly brought it up to my son later, he confirmed it, but told me not to make a big deal about it because he's moved on. Here's the thing, I haven't moved on. I can't stand the thought of helping pay for a wedding to someone who tormented my son. I told my daughter this, and she said her fiance has changed and regrets his actions. She asked me to let it go for her sake. I said I'm happy for her, but that I can't, in good conscience, fund a wedding. Now, my daughter is furious with me and claims I'm punishing her for something she had no part in. My wife thinks I should reconsider, but I feel like funding this wedding would betray my son. My son is staying neutral and says he doesn't want to be the reason for family drama, but I can tell the situation is making him uncomfortable. My daughter says I'm ruining her big day and being petty. Am I the asshole?
Mm, that's a tough one.
I know, it's pretty good.
I mean, good for him for sticking up for his son. But my
Yes.
question is, if this bully really was like that much of a bully, why is the daughter with him? And like, how long was this after the bullying? Like, was this like
I
years?
think in the story it says when he was a kid, it says it's been years though, and because the fiance is 27 and the son is 23, which I also find interesting that there's such a big age gap between them. Like, how were they even in school together?
Like
Does that
four
make sense?
years? Maybe they knew each other from like the neighborhood, or
Or maybe he was like a freshman, he was a senior. If that was the case, that'd be like kind of like a 9, 10 year
the sister was
gap.
friends with him, like in the friend group, and he came around and like bullied the kid. Maybe.
Maybe. I wonder if that's the case, why it wasn't mentioned. But something I found really interesting about the story was that you're just now meeting him and they're engaged. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, unless they live far away. I mean, a lot of families, maybe that happens. Like, I
Maybe
don't
like they
feel
just
like,
happen to go to like the same college or something.
yeah, maybe. Um, but I also want to know what kind of bullying. Was it like kid bullying? I mean, no bullying is right. We should never bully. But like, I feel like, when you're a kid, you can sometimes say not nice things or be a
Yeah.
bully. So I'm wondering if he mentioned the gay thing, is it because he was like calling him like the F word, or like what kind of bullying was going on here? And then, cause like, I think I can maybe like I applaud the dad for sticking up for him, but I think a big thing for me is I wonder, cause like, kid bullying, yeah, not right, but, like, you get over it.
Yeah.
But, like, if the bullying went too far or was, like, extremely extreme, then I could see, like, why the dad would still be like that. So I think
Yeah.
that's where my questions are, is, like, I wonder what type of bullying. Once again, I'm not saying bullying's right, not condoning it, but I'm just curious as to that. Like,
Well, and I had some thoughts too because, like I said earlier, why are you just now meeting him and they're already engaged? But to piggyback off of that thought, do you think that possibly he didn't want to go meet her family for so long because he already knew, like, what he did and he, like, didn't wanna, like, face his actions? And, like you said, it's true, like, people do change and, like, you are allowed to grow and be a better person. You're allowed to do shitty things in your past that you feel really bad about now. That happens to everybody or most people. But I also think it would have been a different story had the fiance pulled the brother aside privately and been like, "Hey, like, this is awkward, but, like, I just wanna say, like, I'm really sorry. I was an asshole. I fucked up. You did not deserve that, and that was awful of me, and I really hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me." That would have been different, and I think that would have changed the dad's perspective on it too, because he
mhm.
took accountability, and he's grown, and he feels bad. But it doesn't seem like he's really taking accountability for it, and it's just kinda, like, all falling on the daughter to, like, be the middleman between the 2.
Yeah, I agree with that. But that also kinda sucks for the daughter. But if
It
the
does
dad
suck
knows
for
about the
her.
bullying and it was that bad, then why is the daughter dating him in the first place?
I was gonna say that because if Jacob was, like, mean to my sister, like, ain't no way I would've, like, wanted to date him in the first place if I'd known. So maybe she didn't know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I would never date somebody that was, like, inherently, like, mean or bullied Brennan. Um, and but that's what makes me think maybe the bullying wasn't as bad, you know what I mean? Maybe he
Maybe not.
just mildly bullied, I don't know.
Which is
Um,
bad to say, but, like, it's a
I
thing.
know,
I know.
like, I feel bad for saying that. But, like, there
That's true.
to me, it just doesn't make sense for her to be dating somebody if they were, like, dangerous or, like, but people do weird things, so
So maybe it wasn't that serious, but maybe the dad's just, like,
can't let go.
standing 10 toes for his son, which I love. I
Yeah.
love, like, stand loyal for your people, but I don't know. Once again, I would like to have some more context. I would like the brother to chime in.
Yeah, me too. I would like can we get a "Am I the asshole?" reply from the brother?
Yeah. We need the brother to join the chat.
Yeah, cause yeah, I don't know, that's a hard one. That's just really sad. I mean, I think it is kinda shitty that the dad won't pay for the wedding for the brother. I mean, for the sister. Well, I guess
Yeah.
it's just
Because if I was the one getting married and there was gonna be, like, stipulation to it, I wouldn't want your money at all. Like, I will
no.
figure it out if there can be
Yeah.
stipulation.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really tough one. That really bamboozled me.
I know. Made
Bamboozled.
the wheels are turning.
Yeah. No thoughts, just wheels. My brain's overheating.
Oh god.
But, yeah, damn. But that just I have a feeling if the dad's holding on that hard that something unless the son's just, like, his baby boy and he's, like, the baby and you know what I mean? Like, they baby
Could be.
so, could be that. But if the
Maybe
mom
it
doesn't have
wasn't
a
that
problem
bad
with
for
it.
the mom. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So, who knows?
Who knows? But I just think nobody wins here. I don't think there's like a "you're the asshole."
Yeah, I don't think it's the possibly both assholes. It could the asshole in this situation on the other side could be the boyfriend,
Could
fiance.
be.
Yep. So, who knows? So, Imma switch over to Am I Overreacting?
Okay,
Which, we need to write some of our own of these one day and just
okay. I
not tell anybody.
I wonder this all the time.
Am I overreacting? So this one is, am I overreacting for feeling hurt that my mother is blaming me for ruining New Year's? I'm an adult, 30 years old, and currently living with my parents. We spent Christmas vacation together, 7 days, and now my mother is asking me to ring in the New Year's with them. I told her that I have a friend I may be busy with, and she flipped out on me, cussing, screaming, calling me entitled, and that I'm ruining the family. I understand being upset about it since we have done this since I was a kid, but I don't believe it's a big deal if I spend it with a friend.
Okay, and how old was our writer?
30.
30. Fuck
Yeah.
no. Your mom needs to be weird.
Like,
Um,
I have, like, an overly close relationship with my family, and my family would never do that to me. Like,
yeah.
I don't.
It's really strange to me when parents, like, refuse to let their kids, like, grow up and be adults. Like, people who, like, go home for, like, the holidays and it's like, "You have a curfew because you're under my roof." No, I don't, because I'm an adult, and otherwise I wouldn't have a curfew. That's just weird to me when, like, they still view their kid, like, as little kids. Like, they're always gonna be your kid, but, like, not a little kid.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes it takes you standing up to your parents to, like, make them realize, like, "Hey, I'm an adult, you're not gonna talk to me that way, and this is not gonna fly." Like, "Oh, you're mad I'm ruining think our New Year's? Well, guess what? I'm about to ruin Christmas and Thanksgiving too, because I won't be there next year."
That's so true what you said about having to, like, kinda, like, set your boundaries with your parents
Yeah.
once you become an adult. Like, I definitely remember having to, do that with my mom when I was, like, probably, like, 19 or so, and that was challenging for both of us. We're fine now, but there definitely needs to be that period where you make it known that you're an adult.
Yeah. And I think if it's to the point I think it's kinda harder for this person to do that because they're living with their parents. Um, which I'm not saying they still can't do it, but I'm just saying I feel like they kinda probably have some, like, sort of internal guilt or something, like, that can make them feel like they owe their parents something, which kinda falls into what we talked about earlier.
Right. But it could also be, like, I wonder if the mom is, like, threatens to kick them out a lot. I used to be friends with this person, and her mom was very much, like, ruled everything about her life, and she would always be like, "Well, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, like, I'm cutting you off, like, I'm selling your car, I'm doing all these things." And I would always be like, "So, move out, get a job, get your own car." Like, I don't know. Maybe that's not realistic in every situation, but I feel like our writer is 30 years old, like, move out, go do your own thing. Like, there needs to be some separation here.
And don't get me wrong, I get living with your parents. Like,
Right.
I moved back in with my parents for 2 years, after my breakup, and I'm finally out on my own again, and, like, the economy right now is so bad, like, save money, like, I drove here to my parents, and they have, like, 3 different apartments being built across the street. A 600 square foot studio apartment, I think it was, 500 it's like 5 to 600 square feet. $1,300. No backyard like I have now, nothing. Just 1 room, no walls, just 1 open room. $1,300.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
Yeah, and, like, to what you just said, I'm not saying, like, it's bad to live with your parents. That's not what I was getting at that point. I'm just saying, like, if it's that big of an issue, there are options that can be made, but
Adding that to the list of things Taylor talks about me. I'm just kidding.
shut the fuck up. No, I don't. But you did get a major side eye when you're like, "I was looking at apartments across the street." Bitch,
No, I was just
you
looking
are
at how
4
much
months
they
into your
were.
lease. Relax. You have 8 months.
I was just seeing how much they were. Calmate, calmate. Um, but yeah, no, that girl needs to set some boundaries for herself. That what is that Vine or that thing where they're like, "F them kids, F them parents."
Fuck them kids. True. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my father and his girlfriend that the gift she got me was creepy and invasive? I'm expecting my first child due in February. This is the first grandchild on both sides, so everyone is very excited about it. My father's girlfriend, Lena, fake name, and I have an okay relationship, but we're very different people. I don't like most of the things she likes, and vice versa.
There's no bad blood between us, but she can be a bit pushy sometimes, so we're not exactly close. One of the biggest differences between me and Lena is our stance on influencer culture. She loves it, I don't. Since I got pregnant, she's been sending me posts on Instagram of random influencers talking about their experiences with childbirth, motherhood, etc. A few months ago, one of her favorite influencers gave birth and filmed the whole thing. She posted a cutesy, poorly edited video of the baby being born and her entire family watching from outside the delivery room, with country music playing in the background. Lena sent me that video, and I remember telling her I'd never do something like that. My husband and I celebrated Christmas at my cousin's place with the rest of my family. When it was time for us to exchange and open our gifts, Lena gave me an envelope. Inside was a videographer's business card. She told me she was hiring him to film my birth. I seriously cannot imagine being filmed while going through a medical procedure, and I don't want anyone besides my husband at the hospital with me. I've been clear about that since I announced my pregnancy. I don't want to embarrass Lena, so I thanked her when she gave me the card. Yesterday, my husband and I had lunch with her and my father, and I told her that while I appreciated her gesture, I didn't feel comfortable with a videographer. I said she didn't have to get me anything else for Christmas, but I'd appreciate it if she didn't hire him. Both she and my father got offended, and we ended up having an argument. At one point, Lena started crying and said she couldn't understand why I'd pass on the opportunity of creating such a beautiful memento of my child's birth. I replied that I found the idea of having someone film me during such a vulnerable moment to be creepy and invasive, and that it wasn't the first time I expressed I was uncomfortable with it. My father said that it was rude of me to say that and refuse the gift, and he is very disappointed in me. My husband agrees with me, as does pretty much my whole family. I don't really think I did anything wrong, but my father's reaction is freaking me out. Am I the asshole?
She's not the asshole.
No.
Um, that that's such a vulnerable thing.
Yeah.
You don't want a stranger in there looking at your new.
The coach.
I had to throw it. Had to throw that in there. Um, but yeah, that's just like if you've set boundaries, people. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier, and she rightfully set her boundaries, and good for her.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think I don't like when people like push their things on you, especially family members. Like, you need to love someone for like who they are and like what they like and what their interests are, and not be disappointed that it's not what you expected from them. Like, especially something that weird. Like, I don't know if Lena has any children of her own or if she's just a step parent, but if she is like a bio parent to children, you would know that, like, hey, I can see why somebody would not want that. Like, it doesn't take like a brain science. I don't know what I was trying to say. I was gonna
A
say a brain
brain
science.
surgeon.
Yeah, it doesn't take whatever to realize like why somebody would not feel comfortable with that.
And there are people that definitely, feel comfortable with that stuff. And that's totally fine, to each their own. I would
Right.
not I'm never birthing a kid, but I would never feel comfortable if I were to with somebody in there while I'm like I mean people you that's a vulnerable like you poop. Like when you do that it's no. like not.
And it's also like those stories you hear about mother-in-laws who are, like, pissed off that they didn't get to be in the delivery room, like, why would you be in there? Why?
Yeah. 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 I don't know. Yeah, that's and so some people it's all different dynamics. That's not their dynamic. And that's not what
Yeah.
they want. So that's not what they're going to have.
What I didn't like about the story was that the dad got mad at her. Like, I get, like, when you're married, like, you have to, like, have your partner's back, but, like, I think you should have your kids' back more in that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I completely agree with you. I thought that was weird too. Like, you don't get mad at your kid. That's her baby. That's their first child. Like, to their moment, not yours. That's just like
Or
when people
even
take
if
over
she wanted to
weddings.
be, like, maybe she had presented it like, "Hey, like, here is that videographer's, like, information. I still think it would be a beautiful idea, but I completely understand like why you would feel uncomfortable with that. And if you don't want it, maybe they can just come do some like newborn shoot style, or maybe you can save it for when the baby's a little older and then you could do like milestone markers or whatever, but forcing her to do that is very odd, and you're not the asshole.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's exactly what I was gonna say earlier too. Like, maybe she could have offered like, okay, well, if you don't want to do it then, we can do something after. Um, but it just seemed like she's very much pushing the narrative of like wanting her to like start posting a bunch of shit about the baby. Sounds like the mother-in-law's the asshole in that case, or the stepmother.
Yeah, I think it's stepmom. It's like that audio. It's like, what an odd thing to say. What an odd thing to do.
Yeah, that is true. Um, Man, people have such weird dynamics, man. I can't believe things are just, I don't know, man. People are the way like some of these things I see like online and stuff, and like how some people can treat their kids, or like they feel so entitled over their children. And I feel like that was a heavy theme in like some of these stories we had today, like just a lot of like entitlement over your children when they're
Yeah.
older specifically. And that's just wild to me. Okay. So I have one more, and mine is, would I be the asshole? So this one's, would I be the asshole if I took over my family's business only to sell it later and move abroad? Uh it says, would I be the asshole if I refused to take over the family business and went to college abroad instead? I'm 18 male, finishing high school, and need to decide my future soon. My dad built a successful business from nothing, and my family expects me to take it over. It's a great opportunity financially, but I don't feel passionate about it. And the lifestyle it requires isn't one that I want. I've always dreamed of moving abroad, studying what I'm passionate about, and starting my own company. But choosing that path means risking everything. My family has made it clear they won't support me financially or emotionally if I leave. And I have no idea how I'll pay for college on my own. What makes this harder is that I'm the only one in my family capable of running the business. If I leave, there's no one to take over, and all of my dad's work might go to waste. Would I be the asshole if I chose to leave and start fresh instead of taking over the family business?
Well, this goes back to what we've been saying the whole episode. You need boundaries with your parents and don't expect shit from your kids.
Yeah.
That's tough because I see why they're like, we want to pass it down to our child and like all of his hard work and everything, but he's just gonna run it into the ground if he's not passionate about it and he doesn't want to do it. So why not take on like a mentee or something like that to pass it down to? But like we were saying, you can't expect things of your children. You should have children just because you want them and you are comfortable and happy with whatever they choose to do with their life.
And maybe don't threaten your children. Like, don't say you're not going to pay for college or anything, um, to try and get them to do something. Maybe offer alternative solutions. Like, hey, how about you stay on as owner? I teach you how to do the owner and like things. You're still getting paid. We'll still pay for your college. And then, when you graduate college, figure out what you want to do. If you want to come back and run it, you can. If not, then, hire somebody else to run it and you still be the owner. There's options. Like, and I feel like those options doesn't seem like those options were presented in this situation. Solutions, people.
It's just like we've been saying the whole episode, just don't expect things from people. That goes in like not just like parents but children. Like, don't expect anything from anybody, so then you're like not let down.
Yeah. And that sucks because like you don't want, on one hand, you don't want to see your family's business go away, but you also have your own dreams and passions. Like, your dreams are not your kids' dreams. They don't have to be. It's their life. Not like you at some point you have to start living for yourself and not for your parents.
I completely
So
agree. Because then what happens if your parents are gone and then you spent your whole life doing whatever they wanted and now you're alone?
Mhm. And some people don't, like, want to or don't actually stand up for themselves in that regard until it's too late, and then they're, like, 40 or 50 years old, which is not, like I'm not saying that's, like, ancient, but that's, like, older, longer in life, and, like, at that time, you wasted all this time doing something that you don't love.
Yeah. And life's too short for that. You only get one go at this.
One shot, one opportunity, seize everything you ever wanted.
Exactly.
Would you capture it? Would you let it slip?
My God. Goes deep.
Do you know what that's from?
Wait, say it one more time.
You get one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted. Would you capture it or would you let it slip? His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's no bound to sweat it.
Why was I gonna say? I thought it was that Disney movie with the ginger, and it's like,
The
if you
ginger?
had the chance to test your fate, would ya? I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know. Long day.
I'm gonna
Just
have to
cut
look
that.
up that movie. No, I'm gonna leave it in there. That's funny. um, damn. That was
Well,
I was like surprised you didn't get that. I was like, I thought everybody.
when you
Those
see it, yeah, but no, I didn't.
are like iconic lyrics. Come on, come
No,
on.
yeah, I
No,
dropped the
I'm
boat.
just kidding. Well, I know we're closing in on time here, so we can go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. Next episode, we will be in person again. So yeah, I don't know. It took some adjusting. I feel like our first over the internet episode, or this is not Zoom, we're using Riverside FM, but was a little not awkward. I don't think it came off as awkward, but like it was a little awkward to record at first, but I feel like this one went a lot smoother. So
Yeah,
it's nice.
but super excited to be back in person recording, and definitely comment and let us know what you guys thought of these stories, if y'all want to hear more of these episodes, and give us your opinions.
Yeah, and this will be coming out after New Year's, so we hope you guys had a good time on New Year's Eve and stayed safe. Remember, Uber is always better than a $400 fine in court fees. That could end up
I think it's more
thousands of
like
dollars.
10,000.
Yeah, I was about to say, but like, I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't know anything about that. I don't know the prices,
I don't either. I don't have a DUI. I just
but
want to make it clear for
10,000 does sound right. Like, I think it's super expensive. But my point is, like, pay the $100 Uber. Okay, it's cheaper, and you don't kill anybody, and you keep yourself safe. So let's just be
Period.
responsible. But yeah, so we hope you guys have an excellent or had an excellent holidays. I can't talk. I'm also losing my luster here. But we hope you guys had excellent holidays. And yeah, we just wish you guys all the best.
Yep. Happy New Year, fuckers. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.